Hey guys, so this is my fairy godmother, Darwin. Because I don't know anybody else, sorry, godfather. This is my fairy godfather, not fairy. How do you want me to put it? He's the man that when I call and I'm like, you know what I really need is I need some way to cook on this thing because it's heating the house. It's so regular, but every time I look at that thermostat and it says 350 degrees, I'm like, I could be baking biscuits right now if I had an oven. And so I've been plaguing them, sending them messages and pictures for a couple days.
Right.
And then I don't remember how it worked if I just called him and I said, could you do it with Crete? Could you do a little oven and just put Crete in it?
And insulate it, yeah. Okay, so once I get the airspace shroud in, which will go in here, this area right here, that's round, because this is light and lightweight, it's not going to be an issue because it's round. So the Crete, the pressure it creates isn't going to be a problem. But up here in the sides, it's going to want to belly out. Okay? So I'm going to take a piece of wood and I'm going to cut it the exact right dimensions and slip it down all the flat spot out here. And then I'm going to cover all the flat spot out here with another piece of wood and either put a rope around it. Just hold it in place. It doesn't matter. So when I pour the Crete, these sides stay perfectly flat. This is the door right down here, but it doesn't look like a door. But I'm going to just show you how I achieve a nice smooth finish on an Crete that maybe you had to sand off or something, or screed off. It's only 12 hours old, the Crete that I poured last night, and I can show you a sample of what it looks like because I poured a test sample. So this is what it looks like. That's a test sample of what's inside of her door. I am getting it down to where I can cure it out and take it out of a mold in 12 hours. And I'm getting it down completely to where it stays in the exact shape you left it in when you poured it.
And it matters the mix though, doesn't it? Because when you had the natural soap, it would totally slump like a cake in the oven that fell.
All by itself.
Yeah.
But I figured out a way to even use natural soap and stabilize it with lime and with J-Lube. And it is, it's pretty incredible. So I'm just going to just kind of get rid of the excess on this right now and show you guys how easy it is to... I just have a butter knife right here. And you can see the top of the Mrs. Honey doing her saran wrap. She helped me pour this last night. Good idea. Thank you, babe. But I'll just screed the knife along the top and just shave off the excess. And anymore, I've got this mixed down so good, I don't even have to leave it humped up because it doesn't want to fall in on itself at all. So, and I know that if anybody's messed with Crete, they've had that problem. So solving that problem is a big deal.
But once it's cured for a while, like the ones you had out in the backyard, when they cured, they now are hard.
Oh yeah.
So it continues to cure
hard
for a long time after.
It does. This in probably 2 days, this would be too hard that I couldn't do this with a butter knife.
And is this one that you're going to be willing to make and send to people, or is it just plans?
This is just going to be plans.
Okay.
I mean, it took me 3 solid days just because of the time involved with pouring the Crete and stuff.
Yeah.
You've got curing time and all this other stuff, and it just wouldn't be... I mean, it's a DIY. It's an awesome project. The fact that I only have like $30 in sheet metal in this and $10 and it's $40 is incredible. You see how the water is seeping up and making the finished deal a little bit of a different color. And sometimes you can just take and put a little bit of water, drizzle a little bit of water on it, let it soak in there and get a little wet. Take your butter knife,
And you're not using water glass because this oven's not going to get hot like a rocket stove.
Oh no, I do the same method with Portland cement on the inside of all my heat risers and everything. But instead of using water, I use water glass. And it works really well.
Wow.
A little bit of cement did leak out before it started hardening.
Right. But I can just brush that off, can't I?
But yeah. So this is your door. And on the outside, I have some stiffener ribs. And I'm going to attach to it a handle. And the door weighs right now maybe 5.5, 6 pounds. It's going to be about maybe 2.5, 3 pounds after it cures out. So I built it to be a DIY for anybody to use on a flat surface, but I am going to customize the bottom of this one for Julie. I designed this with an inside 14 by 14. And these flanges come in, and if I were going to use this for anything other than Julie's rocket mass stove, all I would do is just make a groove there, and a 14-inch pizza stone will just fit perfect there. And that would be the bottom of your stove.
Ah.
Okay? So it'll probably just be a series of nice little holes, and she'll have a slider that she can slide it and open and close to damper that. And she can adjust how much fresh air is coming up through to mix in with the hot air coming off of the top of her downdraft, and therefore she'll be able to control her temperature a little better.
Look at that.
And I have some metal cleaner that'll polish this. I'm gonna spray it and get all the dust off and all the extra concrete, and we can polish it and it'll be nice. And I am gonna pop rivet onto these stiffener ribs handle so that you can slide the door and move it over, in and out. On our Honeydew Carpenter site are doing a whole series on this build. And I don't like doing series. I just like saying, hey, look what I built and this is how I built it. But there's just so many different elements to it that make it look complicated, but it's not. It's really simple, and if you take it step by step, anybody could build one of these. This is roofing flashing.
And you didn't weld it?
No, it's all pop riveted. There's 325 pop rivets in this.
So you need to have a river. Okay, so in his other video we talked about this. You need a Dremel, you need tin snips, and you need a river.
A Dremel or a drill.
Which the thing I'm most excited about is that when I am in summertime and I'm not running my rocket mass heater, I can take this out on my Camp Chef, and I can still bake on my propane.
Absolutely.
And this is going to be super lightweight, so I can move it between.
Well, it's going to weigh like 16 pounds. It's got quite a bit of air.
But, I mean, I've got a crock pot that weighs more than that.
Oh, okay.
I do. I have an actual crock pot that weighs more than that.
If I wasn't using Crete and I hadn't needed it to be more rigid, I would probably have had to have used at least a 22, 24 gauge maybe aluminum sheet. And it would be a little bit more expensive to go down and buy sheets of that. I just used roofing flashing, which is a really light gauge stuff, and showed people how they can work with and manipulate light gauge stuff with just basic hand tools.
So the way to make the Crete, if you want to be able to make it inexpensively, is he does have the PDF. He makes them. He makes the actual foam mate, but you can get just the PDF.
And the foam mate is just a small scale foam generation device that allows you to infuse a really tight celled foam into a slurry of cement, and it just expands it up and makes it really lightweight and fluffy.
And he also has the formulas. If you don't use the right formulas, he's been playing with this mix for 6 months now.
Yeah.
And now he has multiple mixes for multiple different things, but it took him 6 months to play with it.
And I haven't got them all listed yet on my Etsy store, but I'm going to very soon as Julie leaves.
But you have a background in concrete and in roads and in
Yeah.
construction, so he's not just some Joe Blow that comes in off the street and doesn't actually already know the. So that's why it only took him 6 months, is because he already had a background in it.
Exactly. When I came across and everybody wanted to use the plant-based natural 7th generation soap, I couldn't get it to be stable all by itself with Portland cement. But with some additives and some ingredients, I was able to stabilize it, and it works great.
Yeah.
In fact, that right down there is
Yeah.
7th generation.
So your PDF, you're going to include the formulas they need to be able to get it to the size they want,
Right.
plus the measurements for the tin, plus the mix for the air Crete,
Right.
so that they have all, because there's a few different parts that he
Mm-hmm.
brought together.
And I just picked up a roll of 14-inch roofing flashing that's aluminum from Lowe's and used it.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It is, it's beautiful. That just blows my mind.
It's funny the things I see when I walk down the aisle at Lowe's or at Home Depot or something. I see a roll of
pizza
sheet
oven.
metal. I'm like, oh man, that's a good pizza oven
Right?
there.
It's true. I am so excited. So go check out the Honeydew Carpenter. He and Melanie are doing amazing things over there. They did my rocket mass heater. They put the valve in for the bench. They did the super insulated chimney so that my rocket mass heater actually has a 2-foot drop down into the bench. And we haven't had any smoke or any problem like that. We have a window insert. We now have a garden bed going in. And now we have the pizza oven. So if you haven't gone to see their how-tos, because I'm not showing the how-tos on my channel, if you haven't gone over to check out their DIY projects, they're the only people I know who are doing it this way, so go check them out.
Okay, move that, Darwin. Julie, hug it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so I am starting the fire up. Melanie and Darwin from the Honeydew Carpenter are coming over to put the baking oven on top of the rocket stove. I'm super excited, and I want to make sure it's warm when it gets here because the bread needs to make one more rise before we can put it in. And so I need to have the cabin really nice and warm.